Welcome to the video. Today we're going to talk about PayPal. Everyone loves to call it Painpal. Long story short, I still love this stock and there's some really exciting stuff coming out on it. It's just price is not reflecting it. Other than that, though, we'll talk about the daily and weekly price action, when I'm going to add, when I'm going to trim. We'll take a look at the short and long dated open options interest on this one, see what the institutional investors are thinking about. We'll also take a look at PayPal news. Other than that, though, my portfolio is chucked up there on the screen for you, and you can find that in the link in the description down below if you want to copy that. Looking at the PayPal chart, I'm starting to really like the price action on the daily time frame. We've got kind of this head and shoulders pattern here. A break above the neckline gets us to roughly $93, which lines up with the prior double top way back in December. Love that. Would be fairly confident in saying the price is going to reject there in the short term and kind of pull back a little bit. When we look at the larger time frame, you'll see that it also lines up with a big cup and handle pattern, and that would be the neckline for that. So the confluence there for a short term pullback is pretty strong. It's not uncommon for price to pop above that and then pull back for a back test. Either way, I'm happy. What mainly makes me happy is that it's got two very powerful patterns forming on two very good time frames. So technically speaking, this chart is starting to look very interesting. The fundamentals as well, they just keep putting momentum in and it's not being revalued by Wall Street. That I think comes with time. They're not putting enough to the bottom line for people to get too excited about it. There's a lot of hyper growth companies out there at the minute, and this one is purely a valuation play, especially for me. This is a steady Eddie, and it's not gonna go bust. They're too incorporated in a lot of the payment rail systems, and they do a lot of the back end management for global payments. So I'm not worried about that at all. This is a steady multi-year position that I'm going to give it time to run up to fair value, and I think as that time progresses, I'm going to be able to lift that price up when some of these new products start hitting the bottom line. I don't think we've seen anything really from ads yet either. But earnings on the 29th should bring a little bit of clarity to that, see where we're at. Price, though, we talked about resistance to the upside being, well, essentially breaking over this neckline, but that also has the confluence of the volume shelf there and the prior top swing high that was quite recent. So if we get a pop out of that, super bullish for a bullish move upwards. However, a price move down, it's not going to be massive. We've got this kind of little air gap here, which bottoms out at kind of $73. It also lines up with the bull market support band. Then slightly below that, we've got that red trend line as well. So I don't see a lot of downside risk in this one unless something catastrophic happens in the economy, because this will get slumped in with the fintech and the banks and stuff like that. So those kind of assets and companies and stocks will be lumped in with companies that do not do well if that happens. RSI on the daily, nothing too exciting, nothing too boring, just medium, middle of the road. MACDX Plus, institutions starting to look good in this one, and flow starting to pick up a little bit. Looking at the weekly though. Oh, I hate it how that does that. Again, we can see what I talked about with the patterns here. We've got this big old cup, big old handle. The measured move gets us to there. I mean, that would, anyone that thinks it's going to blast straight off through there is probably a bit misleading. It's not going to go up in a straight line. I'm pretty sure we're going to get some rejection there. It's even way back when that area has been a sticky area for price, so I don't expect it to plow straight through when it does go. RSI though on the weekly also looks kind of average. MACDX Plus again a little bit better, but room for improvement, and flow kind of looks flat as well. So the daily price action is starting to really look a lot better, and that's starting to trickle into the weekly, which is an even stronger time frame to base your trades on, which is exciting. Let's look at the options then. Looking at PayPal's open options interest, there's quite a spread on this one from the market maker stands here, from $60 to $80. That's a $20 range on a stock that's under $100. That's quite unusual, interesting. But the volumes here, a lot of these, they're fairly in the money, and there's not a whole lot of interest outside of the money, so there's probably going to be a lot of volume somewhere else on the chart. If we have a look, if we change the date, I think earnings was on the 29th, which would fall on this one. So, nothing too crazy from where price action currently is, but yeah, nothing too bullish either. I mean, we've got this large spike here to $95. I'd love to pop over this market maker resistance here and fill this gap. Seems like it's building. I'm going to push it out to January 2026. So the broader market is fairly bullish on this one, but not overly so. So towards the year end, I think, judging from this, institutions are expecting a slow creep up. Nothing wild. Let's go 2027. We know a lot of the PayPal stuff doesn't start adding till 2026. So January 2027. We get a little bit more bullish. Obviously, these probably aren't as bullish as me. I would like PayPal to get to my fair value a lot sooner than January 2027. But it's good to know our view does align with the broader markets, especially given the bearish volume seems to dry out quite dramatically. Interesting. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about this PayPal news because it's a lot of word jargon and word salad, but I'm just going to read off the screen for it. So PayPal put up a post saying, your digital wallet is about to go global. Say hello to PayPal World. PayPal and Venmo are partnering with some of the world's largest payment systems and digital wallets, starting with Mercado, MPC International, and Tempeh Global, to make cross-border payments a breeze. Love that. Also, I think then on Alex Chris's page, he went in a little bit more detail on some of what that's going to include. Imagine a PayPal world where sending money globally is simple as sending a text. You can shop internationally without conversion fees, restrictions, or delays. Merchants can reach billions of potential new customers without incurring the cost or burden of accepting hundreds of regional wallets. And then he also put, this is just the start. As an open platform with safeguards and compliance, privacy and security, we will continue to add more partners, wallets, capabilities, and ways to make PayPal world even bigger and more connected. Blah, de, blah, de, blah. Love it. And a lot of people are coming out saying, well, companies like Wise have similar offerings. That's true. But PayPal is the back end for a lot larger addressable market here, especially, I'm not sure if one of these posts explicitly say it, but they did mention that they were going to make Venmo and PayPal interoperable. I think everyone sort of glossed over that, but that brings a lot of users to the PayPal ecosystem direct. I know they're going from multi-silo to one shared system. That is going to be massive. And going externally to some of the largest payments players is game changer for total payment volume. And don't think really anyone's talking about that. Everyone's just sort of meh. They're just taking it at face value. And I don't know. It's a little peek under the hood. This could be really, really big to increase payment volumes and stuff like that, transactions. We'll just have to wait to see exactly how much it's going to improve it, and the cross-selling, how good that's going to be. But it's really exciting. It's a step in the right direction. We just need to see some of these new ideas hitting the financials. Without that, everyone's just going to be Painpall, and it's never going to be given a fair seat at the table. So something to bear in mind. That's a wrap. If you like this content, give it a share it with your mum, your nan, your dad, your gran, your dog, whoever, and I'll see you next time.